All right, I know this is gonna bug some of you, but it's gonna make a lot of you very happy. It's back, baby. We're back. Ask Me Monday is back. Bink Bink Bong is back. Alright, so I was reading through the comments and I saw a lot of you guys posting that you miss Ask Me Mondays already. And not just the Bink Bink Bong song, like you miss me walking around in nature talking to you guys about health, nutrition, and body movement, and anything else that you guys ask. So as many of you close followers know, Ask Me Mondays has sort of morphed and evolved into something different lately, and I'm just trying to find like a happy medium of something that will keep me interested, something that'll keep all of you interested, maybe bring some new viewers in or some new subscribers in, but that'll also be valuable to all of you. And you know what? I missed them. I missed this. I missed just getting out here and talking with you guys about a random subject, answering some questions, and reading the comments afterwards and seeing your opinions on my answers. So you know what? It's back, but I'm not gonna bring it back every single Monday. So what I'm thinking of doing is sort of having a few different Monday series that I cycle through. So there's this Ask Me Monday, and then I would also like to delve a little deeper into some topics like I did a few weeks ago when I was sick, and maybe just sort of deal with just one topic at a time. So if someone's like, hey Derek, how can I get more greens into my life? It's like, boom, let's do a few recipes getting some greens into your diet. And then of course some weeks are gonna be like this, where I'm wandering around, chatting with you guys, out in nature. And then I'll also be doing some live Q&As and live hangouts, because I did that last week for Ask Me Monday and I had so much fun and everybody else seemed to really like it, and there were so many comments going down, I could not believe it, and so many questions that I wasn't able to get to. So I clearly need to do more of those. I must have answered like, I don't know, 100 questions or so in the 2 hours that we were chatting. So it's definitely worthwhile. So I'm gonna be cycling between a few different things. I'm still gonna keep trying to do uploads on Mondays, definitely on Saturdays, and I'm gonna try and get one in there throughout the week, midweek, on like Wednesday or Thursday. That's the goal. But, oh my gosh, that was for real. I was not even joking there. What was I gonna say now? It threw me off. Oh yeah, and I remember. I am always open to suggestions, and I always wanna know what you guys wanna see from me, because that's why I do this channel. I mean, I enjoy it, but I put the content out there to benefit all of you. So definitely leave it in the comments down below, and I appreciate any suggestions, recommendations, and criticisms as well. So I'm out here today, right beside the river called the Englishman River here in Parksville, BC. It's not too far from my house, and we're just about to head down these stairs into the abyss, and look how many trees and how beautiful that is down there. This is so cool. And then I don't know if you can hear it, but the river is just off to the side, so hopefully it doesn't get too loud. So one thing that I am gonna do with these Ask Me Mondays is make them a little bit shorter. Like, they started to get so long. They started to be like 23 minutes, 25 minutes. I think I had one that was like over 30 minutes long, and that is just far too long for anybody to be sitting watching me speak. This feels good. It does feel good to be back here with you guys doing this, I do have to say. So the first question comes from just a period, no name. Hi Derek, I've recently lost 10 kilograms thanks to eating a very clean vegan diet. That's amazing, congratulations. I feel like I could still lose a bit more fat, but I would also like to start building some muscle. Is it possible to tone up your body on a caloric deficit? Do you think it's better to go through phases of cutting and bulking, or is it best to eat at maintenance calories and let your body transform more slowly? Thanks, Ellie. All right, Ellie. So congratulations on your healthy life changes and for losing the weight, if it was weight that you had to lose, of course. Super proud of you, and your body will thank you so much in the long term. The habits that we make today are gonna dictate our health in the long term, so it's important to start eating well now. And let me tell you, I have seen it with my own eyes. It is much easier to change your eating patterns and your habits when you're young than when you're like older and stuck in your ways and maybe even suffering from some health conditions already. So yeah, start when you're young, just like me, just like Ellie. So in general, I'm not a huge fan of cutting and bulking. I don't think that it's all that beneficial. It takes so long for our bodies to put on muscle. I think that adding a whole bunch of fat on top of that, you know, which usually happens during a bulk, and then having to like cut and get rid of all that, to reveal, you know, the 1 or 2 pounds of muscle that you've gained, I think it's counterproductive. I think that if we eat at a slight surplus or around our maintenance, and we eat good whole foods, lots of carbohydrate-rich plant foods, our bodies will adapt to the stressors that we're putting it under, to the resistance training, and it will build muscle. It'll pull the nutrients out of that food that it needs to in order to build muscle. We don't have to stimulate it by going on some, like, you know, massive bulk or anything like that. So being in a surplus will help you gain muscle, but if you have a little bit of extra weight to lose and you're eating around your maintenance or maybe even slightly under, our bodies will be able to use some of that extra energy that we have stored to turn it into muscle, or at least not waste the muscle that we currently have and will continue to tone up. And for you especially, I mean, someone who has just done a bunch of work and lost a bunch of weight, for you to then go and like put on weight again, hoping to tone your body, and then like reveal it in a few months when you've like cut and dieted and gone through all that crap, like, it seems counterproductive to me and doesn't seem like the way that we should be doing things. I've always been a fan of just, you know, the lean bulk, staying on a slight caloric surplus and just eating lots of good whole plant foods. I definitely bulk more during the winter because I'm just naturally not as active, I'm more sedentary, and I eat more foods and more nut butters in the winter, and more building foods, I should say. And then in the summer, I'm eating a lot more fruit, I'm more active, and I'm just not eating as much. So then I tend to cut down a little bit more in the summer. And I think that's an okay way to do it, just going with the seasons. But as far as like focusing on cutting and bulking, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work to me. And I never feel good when I'm bulking, when I'm shoving my face with food, I never feel great. And then trying to cut afterwards, like, you know, not eating very much and being hungry all the time, doesn't sound like a good solution to me. So check this out. This part of the stream looks like it's tropical. Doesn't it look like we're in like a rainforest? I don't know, maybe I'm alone on that one, but I think it looks pretty wild. All right, I'm actually really feeling this little zone here. The vibes are good, and it's nice and quiet, and there's not too many people walking around, so I'm gonna answer another question right here. All right, so I've touched on one of these before, but it seems to be a popular subject, so I'll touch on it again here. Liam Bauer asks, can you talk about fasting, cleansing, detoxing, etc., and your experience with it? So as far as fasting goes, it's a pretty popular subject right now. Everybody is into the intermittent fasting, or the water fasting, or even the dry fasting, which I definitely wouldn't recommend the dry fasting, but people are into fasting and they like this idea. So what do I think about it? I'll start by saying that I think in general, in the Western culture, we eat far too much and far too frequently. And I think a lot of the food is not very rich in nutrients, which is why people constantly feel like they need to feed themselves for energy. Like, oh my God! There's a frog right there. He just jumped right over my knee. I'm gonna show you guys. Hi, friend. I don't know if you can see that, but he's definitely got like a little spider hanging out of his mouth. Ruthless carnivore. Way too close. Ugh, get back. Sorry about the distraction. So, for the most part, we are overfed and undernourished. We've all heard that saying. I think there was probably even a film made about it. I can't remember. But we're eating a lot of calories, but we're not getting a lot of nutrients, right? And I think this is one of the reasons why people are so paranoid about missing a meal. And I think it's another one of the reasons why people are often like always hungry, because we're just not giving our body the nutrition that it's asking for. We're just seeking out calories. And generally in nature, calorie-rich foods would be nutrient-rich foods. If you think about like ripe fruit, for instance, that would be an extremely calorie-dense food, you know, compared to other foods in nature. And then we're gonna go and seek out that, you know, same sort of caloric content and the same taste, same flavors, but without the nutrients in something like sugar or refined grains or something like that, right? So this is one of the reasons why a lot of people can't wrap their head around fasting. They think that like it's just such a crazy thing to do. How do you work out fasted, Derek? I could never get up in the morning and just work out. Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on my frog friend. I like him, but I don't want him to jump on my face. Fasting, I'm not recommending it for anybody, but for myself, I know it makes me feel great. When I don't eat a lot after dinner or anything after dinner, and then I just like prolong that breakfast until after my workout or after I've done some movement in the day, you know, until closer to noon, I know that I feel really great and really alive. And I'm not like seeking out food. I'm not having to like find food every 2 hours or every hour to keep myself satiated or energized. But it didn't happen like that overnight. It definitely took some time to sort of build my body's adaptation to being fasted. As far as like detoxing goes, I'm not a huge fan of detoxing. It's a real big catchword, catchphrase, and I'm sure that I could have a lot more views or you know, subs if I was like, yeah, super detox meal for maximum muscle gain or something like that. I'm sure people would love to hear about that, but I'm not a big fan of it. Our bodies are constantly going through detox you know, procedures in our liver, in other organs in our body. We're you know, excreting stuff through our urine, through our sweat, other areas, and that is constantly detoxifying our body. So for some people, detox will be helpful. If you have a buildup of heavy metals in your body, you know, you're gonna wanna go through some sort of heavy metal detox. But the nice thing about it is plant foods help us to detox heavy metals as we eat them. Things like, you know, herbs like cilantro, for instance, and parsley. They're really, really powerful metal chelators, and they help our body rid ourselves of excess metals. And then cleanses, it's like we should just be eating clean. We shouldn't like focus on eating dirty and then having to go through some cleanse. It's kind of like that bulk and cut kind of thing. Like, let's just eat a way that's sustainable, that's delicious, that, you know, we enjoy, that's good for our bodies, good for the environment, good for the animals, and just eat that way all the time. Our bodies will constantly be detoxing and constantly be cleansing, and everybody will be happy. So with all that being said, if doing a cleanse motivates you to eat healthier for a week, or if doing a detox motivates you to focus on what you're eating, you know, for a short period of time and change some habits, then I think that's great. Definitely do it. But do most of us need to focus on it if we're eating like a good whole foods plant-based diet? No, I don't think so. But as always, I want to know what you guys have to say. What do you guys think about cleansing, detoxing, fasting? Let me know in the comments down below. So here's another one that I had answered before, but since people are asking it again, it came up a few times, I will answer it again. From Kayla Strain. Love following along to learn more about plant-based nutrition. AMM is my favorite. Thank you. That's why we're bringing them back. I am on my way to an RD certificate here in Alabama, registered dietitian. My Ask Me Monday question is, how do you approach nutrition counseling with non-vegans? I have lots of non-vegan friends seeing changes in me, but not open to plant-based diets yet. How do you help others make a move towards vegan besides being an example? What to do about non-vegan friends? Get rid of them. No, just kidding. So there were kind of two questions in there. One, what do I do with friends to influence them to go vegan without just being that shining light? And then what do you do when you get clients and, you know, you're trying to promote this vegan lifestyle and you get clients that come to you that might not be vegan? Friends and family is a really tough one, and you got it. Like, you just gotta be the light, shine bright, and just lead by example. And maybe, you know, try and have them sit down and watch something like Cowspiracy with you, or watch, you know, What the Health, or something like that, just, you know, to sort of open up the conversation. That way it doesn't seem like you're the one initiating it, you know, being preachy or anything like that. Just say like, hey, you know you're my good friend. I would love for you to just sit down for an hour and a half or so, watch this video, and you might get a better idea of the perspective that I'm coming from and understand what I'm doing better. And then, you know, that way they might be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Not thinking that, you know, they're gonna be roped into, you know, all the things that our eyes have been opened up to. So that's definitely one way of doing it. But yeah, friends and family, it's tough. Just like, you know, just continue to lead by example. Make them delicious vegan foods that are bright and colorful, that are awesome, and just show them that it's not hard and that you can do it. And you know, people will come around, and if they don't come around this lifetime, well, they're gonna have to go through this whole life again and do it again, and they will not ascend. No, that's not true. When I first went vegan, a lot of my friends, you know, they didn't understand, or they were like, why are you gonna put all this effort into saving the animals? They're gonna die anyways. And they just didn't get it, right? They totally didn't understand where I was coming from. And, you know, I got made fun of a little bit, I got criticized, and it was nothing bad, nothing that I couldn't shake off, but you know, it can get to you. However, a little while later, you know, a few of those friends, they start asking you questions. They start asking, you know, how do you get protein on that diet? You know, silly questions that you're gonna laugh at first, but that you just have to be patient and you just have to answer. And once they start asking questions, you know that they're interested. I forget who coined the term. I think it was ritual plant curious. And once they're plant curious, man, we've got them. We just gotta keep chipping away at them. And then once you get clients, this is where having a niche and a specialty becomes important, because if you just go out there and you say, I'm gonna be a nutritionist and I'm gonna help people get healthier, and then you're hoping that people who are big meat eaters come to you and you're gonna secretly get them on a vegan diet, no, that is not gonna happen. So what I think the best way to do it, and what I did, is I put it out there right away. I said, I specialize in plant-based nutrition. I'm a vegan nutritionist, and if you want information from me, and if you want a little bit of a piece of what I'm giving out, you gotta come to me for it. Other than that, if you want something else, you can go to somebody else, because it streamlines stuff for you. You're not having to convince people, you know, they're already coming to you with that idea in mind. And as long as you keep putting the message out there and shining that bright light, you know, you will convert other people around. Convert, sounds so like diabolical. We're gonna convert them to be more compassionate, healthy, and maybe even good to the environment. What is wrong with me today? So when I was consulting, I did have clients that would come to me still and say, hey, I know that you're a vegan nutritionist and I just haven't given up like eggs yet, or I haven't given up chicken yet. I'm still gonna keep that in my diet. Can you just make a meal plan around that? And you know, at first I kind of tried for like the first client or two that said that to me, but then I realized I'm just compromising my values for what somebody else wants. And you know, it's not gonna help them get to the goals that they wanna do. It's not gonna help you feel good about what you're recommending. So you gotta just bite the bullet and just put your feet down and say, this is my recommendation to you. It doesn't include any meat, dairy, or eggs. If you choose to include those and you don't get the results that, you know, we have talked about, then that's not my fault. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked out great. And a lot of the time, you know, I would create such good meal plans for people that they'd be like, you know what, by the end of the day, I didn't even realize that I didn't have my eggs, or I didn't even realize that I didn't have my chicken and broccoli that I always have in order to build muscle, because that's the only way you can build muscles, by chicken and broccoli. Anyways, yeah, enough of that one. I can already tell that this Ask Me Monday is getting so long. Man, look at the size of that bone. Man, that is a big bone. Does anybody know what that is? I guess it could be from like, I don't know, the only animals around here would be like deer and bear, I guess? Wow. You know what, I reached out to Instagram and I said it to my friends out there. I said, hey guys, if you have a question for me for Ask Me Monday, hit me up with a video question. So let's check it out.
Hey Derek, Aaron here from New Zealand. Hey, I'd be real keen to know a little bit more about oregano oil. I know that you did a video where you use it as part of your skin regime, and there was also one where you were taking it orally. Just wondering if you take it all the time or you cycle it.
Thank you so much for the question, Aaron from New Zealand. Man, how sick are people's accents from New Zealand and Australia? So rad. But I guess people there think that we have accents in Canada here, but it's just like TV like accents. It's not even that cool. That one for sure. I always take the less beaten path. Wow, it's beautiful in here. Okay, so he's right. I was definitely using oregano oil on my face for a little while. Diluted and not essential oregano oil. The kind of oregano oil that you would put drops of in your mouth if you were sick or something like that. So it's quite spicy, and it's like, can like burn your skin if you don't dilute it. So what I was doing there was diluting like 2 to 3 drops of oregano oil in aloe vera gel. And I found that to be really helpful, because what happened was I had something called, I think it was seborrheic dermatitis or some type of seborrhea around my nose here. And for so many years, I can't even tell you how many years, even after my acne went away when I switched to a plant-based diet, I still had this problem. And it was like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, the skin around my nose here would like turn on itself, and it would just start to like flake off and get like really red and inflamed. And there was no rhyme or reason to it. I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't like a seasonal thing. It wasn't like if I didn't wash my face or stuff like that. It was just like, there was no way that I could fix it. I did not know what it was. And then I realized that this might be an imbalance of the bacteria on my face, or there might be an overgrowth of some sort of fungus on my face. And it is a really good antifungal, the oregano oil. So I started to use it, and within maybe 3, 4, 5 days, it started to clear up. And then once I got rid of it, it didn't come back. I think it came back like once, very, very lightly, and I'd always know the feeling because it would start to get a little bit like tingly and itchy, and that was the last time I ever experienced it, and it's gone for good. So yeah, that's how that helped me. I don't use it anymore. I use a combination of jojoba oil, tea tree oil, and a bit of lemon essential oil or some other citrus essential oil, because that's really good at helping to like kill any bacteria that we don't want on our face. Same with the tea tree oil. And it's a little bit lighter and like more mellow, and it doesn't smell quite as strong as the oregano oil. And then as far as using it internally, I spoke about it in my last Ask Me Monday video, 2 Ask Me Mondays ago, where I was sick, and I talked about all the things that I do when I'm sick. There's a lot of science out there showing how effective oregano oil is at being antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial in petri dishes, but there's just not a ton of it in humans. Not a ton of research done in humans to tell if we actually absorb the active ingredients that are in it. We also know that it is such a strong antimicrobial that it can actually, you know, kill off some of the good bacteria in our gut when we consume it, along with killing off the bad bacteria as well. So I don't know about consuming it internally anymore. I'm just not too sure. I think we should definitely do it with caution and treat it like an antibiotic. And definitely after you're done with it, I would try and repopulate that gut flora, you know, with some probiotics, or even better, some fermented foods like sauerkraut. And there's lots of things that we can take when we're getting sick, I think, that don't have the same risks as oregano oil. One of them being elderberry syrup, super good for us, olive leaf extract, and then, you know, just eating healthy, lots of antioxidants. Those are all good things for when we're sick. So I don't necessarily, I'm not gonna be consistently consuming oregano oil until there's more research on it. All right, and then the last question I'm gonna answer today is from the 09. I really enjoyed this Ask Me Monday. It felt spontaneous and reminded me of your older videos, hopefully like this one. I think it'll be a really welcome change. Keep it up, thanks for everything, you rock. My question, could you explain more in depth how you can achieve a physique like yours while eating so many fruits? I love fruits, but keep reading stuff about lowering sugar intake, including fruit sugar. CrossFit is saying eat protein, vegetables, some fruit, little starch, but no sugar. Some days I feel like only eating fruits. And what's wrong with starch if they are healthy? So I don't know what to tell you about building a physique like mine with plants. I mean, So I don't know what to tell you about building muscle and a physique like mine with a high fruit diet. I mean, I eat a whole variety of plant foods. I eat lots of fruit in the morning, but then I also eat starches. I'll also eat grains. I like eating, oh my God, the focus. I like eating, you know, more fatty foods as well, like avocados and some nut butters and tahini, flax seeds, hemp seeds, all that sort of stuff. But I definitely do eat a whole lot of fruit. So could I have built slightly more muscle if I'd been eating a lot more protein and just like tofu and tempeh all the time and protein powder like 4 times a day? You know what, maybe I would have a little bit more muscle, but my enjoyment in life and my health would probably suffer, and you know, my enjoyment for eating would suffer as well. I love eating fruit, and like you said, some days you just want to eat fruit all day. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think fruit is super healthy. So I'm all for lowering sugar in our diet, like refined sugar, processed sugars, of course. I'm all for lowering that in the diet, but I don't think that there's any reason to reduce the amount of fruit that we have in our diet or the amount of sugars that we're getting from fruit. From whole fruits. I'm not talking about fruit juices or like fruit flavored friggin' candies. I'm talking about whole fruits. And one thing I think a lot of people forget about building muscle and building athletic ability is recovery. Like, everyone is so concerned about building our muscles up, about protein, but we forget that in order to like get back into the gym or get back to your chosen sport or whatever, our bodies have to recover properly. And fruit is absolutely packed with everything that we need in order to help our body recover the best it possibly can. Like, there's so many antioxidants in there which are great for helping to reduce inflammation. They're full of minerals, which we know are the electrolytes in our body, and they're full of like fruit sugars, healthy sugars that help to replace our body's lost glycogen that we used up when we were exercising. And then starches. Starches are some of the most nutrient-dense foods that we can possibly be eating. Like a yam or orange potato, freaking sweet potato, whatever those orange ones are, those are like such incredible fuel for helping our bodies to recover, and they're super, super nutrient dense. If you are worried about our body converting excess carbohydrates from whole plant foods into fat, look up the process called de novo lipogenesis. I'm not going to explain it in this vlog because I'm not really prepared to right now. I don't really want to, and I can already tell that this is going way too long over time. So definitely look into it. De novo lipogenesis. Bring up that big word at CrossFit and just like blow your friends' minds. That actually reminds me, I've got something awesome in my backpack. I'm gonna get that out and then we'll finish this video. So this is kind of interesting. I guess this is like a bit of a floodland, and when the rains come, I bet you this is totally covered. Wow, this tree is so big, I bet you guys can't even get a perspective of it, but I'm gonna put the camera down right here to show you how massive this thing is. Wow, that's cool. It was like a whole bunch of trees that shared like a root ball, and they all fell down together. And then the river carried them here. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I forgot I had this. Boom! Just a big jar full of fresh blueberries. When people say sugar is sugar, they could not be further from the truth. If you hear somebody say that, don't listen to any more of their nutritional information because they do not understand at all. Fruit sugar is so much different than refined sugars. I hope you guys enjoyed this Ask Me Monday. I'm happy it's back. So watch for this along with a series of other videos every Monday. Still gonna get uploads up on Saturday, like I mentioned, and on Wednesday as well. Let me know what you want to see in the comments down below. Also, ask your questions for next Ask Me Monday, #AMM, but I'll read all the comments like I always do. Thank you all so much for the love, for the support, and for your time to watch this video. So, eat fruit, stay positive. Love you all.